You are now locked into DJ Miss Tempz. You are now in with DJ Miss Tempz, Miss Tempz.
DJ Miss Tempz, DJ Miss Tempz. Play it loud, let them know what's poppin'. The God Rock Kim in your area.
Yo,
One.
you can just feel this one.
Right about now, people, I'm super gassed. We've got Joe Buhdha right here on Industry Insider with your girl, Miss Tempz. Yo, big up, Joe Buhdha.
Big up, Tempz. What you saying? Long time no see. Long time. Well, I see you online, but long time no see you personally. It's digital.
That's how it is, though, isn't it? That's kind of like how the world's gone. Like, or you people that you kind of just see them online doing their thing, and you kind of support them that way, isn't it? It's
that's it. That's what we've got to do.
Definitely.
I mean, it'd be nice to see people, but much more in the physical essence. But this is what it is. At least the spirit's there.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Thank you for taking the time to come on Industry Insider with Miss Tempz. We're glad to have you here. We're glad to have your knowledge, your experience, your expertise, and I'm hoping that definitely in this interview, people are going to be able to gravitate towards your journey and maybe learn something, and it helps them in terms of industry perspective and just getting to know a little bit more about who Joe Buhdha is. Because how long have you been in the game? Have you got a number on it?
Well, I started rapping when I was 16.
What big massive high top and
High top, yeah, 1987.
Jeez.
What
was your rap name?
Mac One.
Mac One.
Yeah.
So you're telling people it was hard from there then, yeah?
Well, it's because I took it from me running. I used to be a sprinter, didn't I? So
okay.
Fast, so I thought that would be a good name. So and then me and a couple of school friends, we got a record deal when we was about 18. So professionally, I'd say that means we were dealing, working since I was 18. So what's that? 32 years.
Jeez, but put some respect on that. 32 years in the game, people.
Yeah, it's a long time.
It's more than a lifetime for some. That unfortunately, you know what I mean. It's a massive part of your life that you've dedicated to music. So big up to you.
Yeah, definitely, big part of my life. So.
Are you glad that you've done it? Looking back now, I know you've just touched a big one, which we won't touch on, but happy belated. Looking back, are you glad that you spent that much time in music?
Yeah, I've got no regrets really. You know what I mean? If I did have regrets, then I wouldn't have never thought about this journey in the first place. This is the path that I started and set myself on, and whatever happened. So for me, when I got into it, the only thing really was just initially was just to get the American hip hop man to just hear the music and like it. Beyond that was always going to be a bonus. That was the first thing. It wasn't about making loads of money or being a big superstar, nothing like that. It was just being able to see it and do it as a daily thing. Okay.
So talk to me from starting as a rapper. How did it, what was your next step? Was it to be a producer or where did you go from there?
To be honest, I've told this story many times before. So I do lecturing and I always tell the kids this, they always ask me this question. Nice. So basically what happens is the producers I was with in the group, big up Chisel Chiz and DJ Trey.
Jeez.
They kind of, be honest, I'm sorry Chiz, I'm going to have to throw you under the bus here. He wasn't committed enough.
Okay.
So, and Chisel was he's a genius. He's like the first man to do certain techniques in sampling and hip hop sampling that I'd ever seen before anybody else. Only the American man was doing it, and Chisel was way advanced. I think. So I learned enough from him because when he wouldn't turn up to the studio sessions, I'd go there on my own as a rapper and start telling the engineer, do this, do that, chop this sample up, put that with that, and just learn it I mean, the engineer was, I won't lie, they weren't very good them days. But me sitting down with them and them struggling to know how to get this thing to work is where I learned how to do it myself. So in that sense, because Chisel and Johnson didn't turn up, production was it was a necessity, really. I didn't do it because I wanted to do it, even though I always had a vision of what I wanted the sound to be like and all that in the group. That wasn't my first role.
Right.
Yeah, so it was rapping, bit of dancing, hip-hop dancing and all that kind of thing, and then I fell into production. And then once it grabbed me, I just stuck. I kind of left the rapping alone.
Okay. So did you kind of feel like, because it was such a young age, because not everybody enters into music as a kid, like 16, it's very, very young to kind of start your life as a, a young teenager or whatever, and continue your whole life in music.
Do you know what it is? I think it sounds weird, but I was surrounded by people who were go-getters and hustlers and movers and shit. And I'm not talking about street hustlers, just was hustlers. They know how to do things. They were proactive. People like Swift, Kenneth Costello, Valerie V. Rocket. You'd see them doing things and making things happen. So they inspired me to do things. And then I would watch a lot of MTV and them times, and there's other documentaries that come out, and I'd watch what they was doing. I think we could do that. And that was it, really. So it kind of pushed me to just do for self in that sense. And like I said, I was surrounded by people that inspired me to do that.
That's wicked. It's so good to hear that, because you've mentioned some names, some may be familiar with, some may not be familiar with, but it seems very important at times in your journey. If you're the right people, if you're around the wrong people. I was saying this with Irina when I was interviewing her last week about having the right team and the right people around you sometimes, where it can create a positive situation and sometimes it can create a really negative situation.
Yeah, and that's happened even later in life, where I've had the positive team and then I've had, inspirations, and I've had negative people surrounded me. Right. And, it's not benefited me.
No.
So, you know what I mean? We'll touch on that later.
All right, good. I'm glad we were able to get into it fully, because this is a big opportunity, man. You get me, for Miss Tempz to be here, sat down with man like Joe Buhdha, who is so influential, and you lot are going to hear more about some of the things that he's achieved. So yes, I'm glad we're able to get into it. You get me? Let's get into some real talk.
Yeah, man.
So before the real talk, talk to me a little bit about after that sort of side of your journey. What happened then? When did you physically start making projects, and who was one of the first people that you worked with?
So the first was a rapper who's now actually my neighbour.
Right.
Simon Kittison, Headcase. Kitty, everyone knows.
Oh, wicked. Big up Kitty, man.
Big up Kitty and Tower as well. They were a group called AOK.
AOK. Yes, Tower Divine. AOK.
And then came 45.
Yeah. Big up 45, man.
And
Bradford, you get me.
That's the tune though. That's what really sparked it off and made me believe in myself. I thought I had something, but that tune made me believe in just by the reception of it. And we didn't mix it very well. We was very amateurish in how we was doing everything. The way we just pressed up the tune. We didn't know how about distribution, nothing like that. And that was where I said, yeah, this is what I really want to do. Okay. This is it for me now.
Okay. Big up to 4-5 as well, because like Dougie touched on, that was one of his first tunes that made him continue in his journey as a professional in the music business. And also, for those that don't know the song that I just kind of rap to, it for Nottingham, because hopefully we can touch on a little bit in terms of the, how the matrix works when you're from Notts or the Midlands and when you're kind of not from London, because back in the day especially, it was relentless trying to get yourself heard, get yourself played, get yourself anything if you kind of weren't from London them times there. So track there did major things. I was blowing up all over the place. It was crazy.
Yeah, it did well. It did good, and it, like you said, it opened the door, the London centric thing. It kind of just
Open doors for Art the Ville.
Yeah, and people from Birmingham, Morris Delta, and
yeah,
man, and Manchester, man. It helped all of us outside of London, so it was a good thing for us. And I remember when we did the first performance of it in London, and it was for 279.
Right, big 279, right.
And him and Westwood, as we know, never got on.
Right.
Even Westwood came down to 279, bought his ticket, everybody in there, every London rapper was in there. Even I heard a man, I won't name him, who's these idiots from up north, from Bradford. and his name brand man as well. And he was standing next to me, brethren, Rodney P, talking to Rodney. Rodney had to elbow him, say, yo, the man them's there, you know, you're talking about. So, yeah, but Westwood was there, and he came over and bigged us up, and it was good. It was a good day.
Man.
Good. That was good for us as well. Really good for Nottingham and what we was doing, and gave us some belief.
Definitely, absolutely, 100%. It definitely opened the doors and the inspiration for Nottingham artists around that time to actually believe that, you know what, yeah, we can get played, and you know what I mean. Our accent is different, but it can go through still if we work hard and we stay inspired, and you know what I mean. We make that 4-hour journey from Notts to London and get the stuff out there and do what we need to do to get heard. So big up, man. Big respect.
And it was hard graft, not like now, you just upload your tune. Like you said, you got to get on a train or beg a drive, because them times only one man in about 10 drives. So you'd have begged lift and just hustle to get around London, bringing 10 record here and 20 and by the time you get the money out of it, you spent it all on McDonald's and train tickets.
Took a walk down Oxford Streets.
Yeah.
Over.
But it was good. That's all part of the building, the experience, the learning. So yeah. Absolutely.
So from 4-5 to where did you go then? Did you start producing singers? Was you continuing in hip hop? Events?
Yeah, because really we didn't. Because at the same time when I started rapping, I was also promoting. Right. My first hip hop jam was on my 17th birthday. 17th, yeah. No, that was my second one. I was on my
Did you draw the flyer? Did you have a flyer? Did you draw it?
Yeah. It was all graffiti by a guy called Van Henry. Did all our flyers. Nice. And another guy, Pulse, used to do some of the flyers for us as well. Graffiti artists. And yeah, and again, it was a documentary called Bad Meaning Good by Tim Westwood. What Tim Westwood was featured in, it was about UK hip hop in the 80s. So I seen it, and that again I was touched on earlier. I seen it on TV. I thought it was like in a youth club, bag of man rapping on stage, Englishman, DJ. Well, I could do that. So I just booked a youth club in Clifton, and we put on a party with Nottingham's top hip hop DJ, then Master Scratch and our crew and some Clifton man, and then that was where I started promoting. That was my first kind of jump into that side of the world as well.
Wicked.
So yeah, at the same time I was doing the 4-5, I was doing promotions, and I met a guy called Mick Mott, and he was doing shows, I was doing some shows, and we collaborated to do some Nottingham shows, and he didn't really know that I was producing. Well, he kind of knew I was producing, but anyhow, we got together and we started bringing over some American acts, mainly underground artists, on a label called Raucous, same label of Mos Def and Farrah Monch and Talib Kweli and so on and so on. Yeah. And then some other artists, lower bill on the label, but good artists, El Fudge and Mr. Complex, J Live, Supernatural, those kind of guys. So I was bringing them over, and then we decided through doing that, do some recordings and then see where we go from there, which hooked us up with a distribution deal with a company called Groove Attack in Germany, and they used to do what was called D or M&D deal, manufacturing distribution of all our music, which was really good because did quite well with the El Fudge, and sold quite a few records on that. And yeah, it kind of again cemented even more, this is what you're doing. because at that time I was probably in mid-20s. So you got to make a decision which path you're taking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That kid. So you got to be responsible as well. So I can't just think, I'm doing this music thing and it's not paying no bills. And you got Pickney wants food. He's got to pay.
It's expensive out here, yo.
Yeah, telling you.
Are you glad that you did the European, I'll say intervention into your career then? Because not a lot of people are that far even into distribution, let alone anything else. And you're merging here with Europe. Did that play an instrumental part in your success? Because I know you've had, like, say, for example, I don't know if some, but definitely one of your tracks have been played on a film. Is it in Europe?
Yeah, I mean, again, that was through doing the Elfwood stuff, and then Groove Attack was connected to the distribution company, and they also label. They're connected with like different film companies, and like I think it was Cannes Films or one of Calais. You can't remember the name, it's so long. But anyway, the film company, they contacted them and they used our music in the film, and I won't lie, set me up good for, got me deposit for me first house. So that was good. To say we're doing underground hip hop,
major,
not like mainstream music, it kind of helped us, and also made me understand, there's other kind of ways to generate income from doing this. It ain't all about sales of tunes or bums on seats at gigs. You can get one tune in an advert and that can set you up for a few years. Do you know what I mean? So it made me understand how to navigate the business in different areas, know what a music supervisor is, and making links to them, and really good publishing companies, researching the publishing companies, whether they actually going to do some work or they just got you on their roster to just have you on the roster, or they're going to actually be out there actively seeking work for you. So, I mean, it made me really think about those kind of things as well. So.
I mean, all of these things must have played such a major part, and we've not even really scratched the surface on the things that you've achieved and, that side of sort of things. But fast forwarding to 2020, despite the COVID, you're a lecturer, yeah?
Not as much now. I do it kind of part-time, just when they call me, when they need me.
Look, this is how big Boston he is now, yeah. He's a lecturer. He's like, just do a bit, man, when they call me, you get me, like, big balling.
I wish. But yeah, I do enjoy doing the lecturing, and it's good because also it keeps my mind sharp, because if I'm going to teach youth, I can't be sitting there and just walking in there with my old talk all the time. I need to be up to date with certain things, not always with the music, but in terms of how the business is progressing, how things, changes in technology has affected how we listen to music, purchase music, sell music, all these things, promote music. So you have to be aware. So if I'm teaching knowledge mainly about music business, I've got to be aware of the business. So it's always keeping me on my toes. So it's good in that sense.
Okay, big up. Touching on that just a little bit more, how hard is it in terms of inspiring the children, or how old is your class? Is it like 18 to 20?
It's 18 to mature students.
Okay.
I mean, we might have some 17-year-olds in it, but
are they inspired? Do you feel like it's?
I mean, to be honest, when I've been out into clubs, parties, wherever, and I see my students, and sometimes I'm just like, that brethren, you know what I'm saying? So they'll come up to me and go, you're the best lecturer I've ever had. Okay. And I've heard it, so many man's wrote me letters after they've gone on to uni with degrees and said, you inspired me. So don't get me wrong, it's sometimes when I'm reading that kind of, I well up get emotional, because it's touching you, because you've helped somebody go through on their journey, and they've said that you've inspired them. So it's good to know that what you're doing is positive. So yeah, there's some young people, they need to kick up their arse, and they've got talent and their head's too big and they know it all. And we was the same at 17, 18. We knew everything. No one could tell us nothing. And there's some who just want to eat every word you're saying, they're listening, and they're going through the motions. I mean, some might be the ones who usually got the most talk are the ones with the most talent, but they don't do the most work.
Yeah, it's always
end up lacking behind a few years later.
Mm-hmm.
Talent without hard work is, you need to work hard, I'm telling you.
There you go. There you go. So yes, 1,000% then. If you're getting that response from your students, because some people are in jobs that they don't like.
Yeah.
They're there to get paid, but a job like yours has to come with more, because you got to get them through that course if they want to get through that course, and each is an individual, and it must be a tough course to be on.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. It's pretty intense. I mean, some of the things is, I think, you know, if you really want to be on this course, you're supposed to know this. Some of those things is, they're putting you through your paces. So if you really want to be in this business, especially at somewhere like confetti, where you got all the resources in the world.
Yeah.
And if you're not taking advantage of this now, you not need to be in this game, because you're not going to get these again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got £1 million studio. They're letting you use it for nothing. So you better use it and use it good.
So you heard it from Joe Buhdha himself. Nottingham, there's facilities out there. If you're willing to work hard, they're accessible to you. He's just mentioned confetti where he lectures at.
Yeah, not just confetti, Take One, do you know what I mean? Big Trev, CRS, myself, we Can't Stop, Won't Stop, and there's other facilities out there. You know what I mean? You just speak to us, work with us, and if you're on it, we'll work with you.
There you go. Wicked. What's your thoughts on rap or hip hop today?
Do you want me to cuss bad with now?
I want you to say exactly how you feel about how.
You know what I say? I say this. If I was 19, 18, 16, whatever, I would probably, if I didn't have someone around me showing me music from a different era and whatever, I'd be into what my peers are into, the same music. There's no way really I'm not going to be into the drill and the rap and that. But differently, we've heard the greatest rappers in our era. And if you're asking me to dumb down myself to listen to these youth who can't, some of them can't read, because they clearly can't read because the way they rap, I can't listen to that. And I'm not just dissing them, because there's party tunes in our day where it's really basic lyrics and all that. Even Run DMC, one of the greatest, their lyrics are super basic. But there was also the Public Enemy, the KRS One, the Tribe Called Quest, there was a variety on the level, on the dance floor, on the radio, a variety of music. So you could pick if you wanted to go positive, or you want to be the club tune, or you want to be the street tune. Now it's really just one-way traffic, and it's pretty boring, to be honest. There's the odd man and wants to be a bit different, but you gotta be courageous to be different now, because people are not going to listen, and people are scared to touch you. Always a bit too different now, man. You need to. Then some of the lanes are full up. You need to find a different lane.
Do you think artists like Dave has helped to fill that gap? Storm's there because they are rappers. They're not doing drill.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I listen to them. It's not for me, and that's just a generational thing. It's not like I don't think they're not talented, because they clearly are. It's just like I say, generation. My ears are not made for that.
Your ears haven't tuned up to the current drill and trap.
No.
It's a stage few decibels down up in hip hop and jazz.
It's gone even got older. I'm listening to more old music than before. Do you know what I mean? There's some good. Don't get me wrong. I listen to a lot. I do a radio show on Soho Radio in London once a month, and I play an hour of hip hop and then like an hour of mix up, reggae, jazz, funk, disco, anything what I feel like playing.
Right.
Well, I do the first hour is always modern stuff, so I go and look around for what's out there and what I like, and it's in my zone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If
In
a
your
beat's got a
lane.
little trap beat on there and I like it, then I'll play it. Not too much of a purist.
You're too much of a curious.
No, I said I'm not a purist. If I like it, I like it. Do you know what I mean? Modern rappers, my favourite is probably Kendrick Lamar.
I don't think there's enough. I think because the market is so oversaturated with the current urban music, which is trap, drill, that sort of wave, grime, I think the percentage of actual rappers right now against that would probably only be about 5, 6, 7% of rappers, that people that's rapping. Everybody else is doing grind, trap, and drill. Do you think it's going to get worse?
Well, you got Loyal Kana, and he's massive. He's doing big things, and people don't see is because, especially if we're from the Black community, we see things that kind of represent and look closer to us.
Right.
And more street.
Yeah.
Kana's music is, middle of the road, hipster white folk, and that's his audience. So therefore, we don't even notice what he's doing. And I seen him supporting Erykah Badu, and when you're doing them things, you're doing things.
Right.
But so it's for us to not just look at certain, just Grime Daily and all these platforms are great, but we only aspire to one place. And it's same when I was saying back in the days, when everybody was down doing that, I went that way.
Right.
And all the Nottingham was struggling to get a tune out. We was getting a tune out over here because we wasn't trying to just do the urban R&B, try and get on radio. Yeah. We got on there, but we're not forcing it. Just let's try and make something good, know our market, and then hopefully we can work that.
Makes sense, definitely. Do you think that hip hop's always had? Do you think it's the fans are not great enough in a sense of supporting it enough or loving it enough to be a mass population?
Well, it's weird because hip hop never goes away. You bring Wu-Tang here to Nottingham and you put them in our stadium, and that's hip hop. It's going to be packed solid to the rafters. Everyone, but who goes is not the audience that we're used to.
Yeah.
Again, I went to see Public Enemy, Wu-Tang, and De La Soul in Manchester last year before, maybe last year. I can't remember with lockdown. I shouldn't have them. But anyway, the audience, if you went to that 20 years ago and that was in Manchester or Brixton Academy, you better bring your bulletproof vest. You know what the audience, I'm not saying everyone's, but it's going to be rowdy, them kind of dance.
Yeah.
Dance, you can bring your picnic, your grandma, everybody, because the audience has changed.
Right.
So and the audience for the drill and that is the old hip hop audience. And let's just say black folk. Let's just get beat around the bush. And the black people not going to those things.
No.
And I know this because I'm a promoter and I put on cultural events. Pure black music from Roy Ayers Jazz to Hot Ace Brass Band from New Orleans to Big Daddy Kane to Ghostface.
Wicked.
Real black music.
Wicked.
And my audience is 85% white.
Mm-hmm. So it's been like that with hip hop.
Well, because black
we used to call them dusty backpackers. No disrespect,
but the thing is, once we decide something doesn't look right, where jazz music come from? It's ours. Who goes to jazz music? No black folk. We forgot it's ours. House music, that's ours. Techno, that's ours. Drum and bass, Afrowe. Real roots and culture reggae, that's ours as well. You go to roots and culture dance, and you'll be in there on your own.
I've been road to top. I know the flex.
Right, and that's our fault because we don't. And now, if it was The Who or Rolling Stones, granddad, son, and grandpick is going from all the family.
How do things change then in that respect? How is the culture preserved?
We've got to
for black music.
We've got to start working together for one.
That's facts, bro.
And we've got to stop owning shit.
That's facts, bro.
Stop the bickering and the crab in the bucket thing that we've been doing for thousands of years, that we've been trained to do by white folk. We need to stop that shit. We need to start building our thing and owning our things. Simple as that.
Facts.
You know, when you see my man who's built his Hollywood, his studio in America for the films, who does Madeira.
Right.
I can't remember his name, the actor. And he's built a big studio, and all the black producers and directors are going there They
Right.
bypassed Hollywood and they go in there now to film their things. Why? Because they don't want to have to deal with the bullshit, the racism and all the other crap that comes with it. They don't have to deal with proving themselves when they got a good track record, and the white brother don't have to prove himself as well. Why? Because they can go to the black man now, because we've got things, we can support each other.
Yeah.
But unless we start reinvesting our money and stop buying Gucci and bullshit like that, and reinvesting our money into proper things, we're just going to be on the same speed at this for the next 20, 30 years, arguing about the same shit, moaning and bickering, how we ain't got this, how we ain't got this. Like them awards. Lad awards. Make our own awards.
What did you think to the Mobile Awards?
I didn't watch it, to be honest.
Did you not?
Nah. I think Liverpool was on, so that cool. Nah. No, it's not that. I, you know what I mean? No, if I got nominated for something like that again, because we got nominated way back in the day, being 4 or 5.
Did you?
Yeah,
I
way
didn't
back.
even know that.
Yeah, it was good.
Mad.
It was hanging out with Mary J. Blige and Missy Elliott.
Jeez, the good old days of Mobile, yeah? When that money was
Yeah.
getting worked right.
Good old days, yeah. But
Not
if I got-
interested.
nah, I'm not bothered about them things there. You know what I mean? I'm not going to turn my nose up if they offered me and you got nominated and you won it, because it's good for you, but it doesn't change anything to me. Not now. Years ago, probably would be, oh my God, would love to have it, but nah. Don't matter.
Talk to me about some of the projects that you've done, some of the people that you've worked with. I know you flew some names out there, but like, lay it down right now. Let people know who you really are.
Flipping it. Right, music, production. I've done stuff with Rodney P, Mr. 45, Talu Kweli, El Fudge, Supernatural, Jurassic 5, Irish Science, from Dilated Peoples, the remix of Jungle Brothers, done track with John Legend and Estelle, 2 tracks with John Legend and Estelle. Got unreleased music with John Legend. So if you go to my Soho radio show, you get a little snippet, because I did a 50-year anniversary show, 2 hours of all my productions. So, Sleaford Mods, and then show-wise, I've had Ghostface Killer, Rakim, Marley Marl, Big Daddy Kane, Jurassic 5, Super Nat, Raw Years, Lonnie Lister Smith, DJ Premier, KRS-One, Souls of Mischief, there's loads. Jerry the Damager, he used to do some UK Takeover, that's had everybody. Lethal Bizzle, Class, Skinny, Wiley, just too many. I can't remember half of them. I'd have to go through it. Styles P, Papoose. Jeez, I won. Yeah, I'm stuck. There's more. There is more, definitely. There's definitely more names.
You forgot one of the biggest names that you've ever worked
Oh yeah,
with
sorry,
in
Miss
your entire
Tempz.
career.
Miss Tempz. Sorry, Miss Tempz.
I think
Sorry.
you know your name's full up. It's either going to be an event or it's going to be a project in music. I mean, wait a minute.
You know, because you're in front of me, sometimes you
I'm only joking, man. I'm only joking.
True, Miss Tempz.
Temper.
Miss Tempz again.
Temper.
Yeah, Temper. Yeah.
Anyway, quickly moving on, people, because Tempz does go in some weird left which you don't need to be at right now. Right now, this is the Focus on Joe Buhdha, and I just took it off the shine. I feel like I just rained on your thunder. Did you hear how much big names he just says? Every name that came out is a major name. That's a big achievement, man. You're big up yourself, man.
Thank you.
Major things right there.
It's been a good journey. This is what I'm saying. I haven't got no regrets. There's things that, yeah, you could have a bit more in the bank and all that kind of stuff. But that's not, like I said, I wasn't here for that. I want to be able to do this and continue to do it. And now my son, he's going into the business. He's a producer. He's done some work with a couple of artists that a band that we got signed this year to a label. And myself and him has produced a project, group called Melonics, big up Nadia in Georgia, the Nottingham group, and they've just got a deal. We've got a project with Marita, also looking to come out next year. We've got a label situation with that, and Sleaford Mods. I've got a project called Kaluna, which is a house funk project that I've done with the son again, and just someone else. Reggae project, one with, it's got reggae singer with Kof, a Manchester, Liverpool artist, sorry, and KRS One and General Dush. We're doing something with. We've had it up for a while, to be honest. We've been trying to get it out for a minute, but it took a bit of time to get it right. So I think we've got the right formula now. So yeah.
Wicked.
Mr. Jam, he's always, you know, when there's opportunity, because I've always said, everyone goes, oh, just, if they don't know the story, I helped Jam get his first break. I mean, there's Trevor and Courtney in this development as well, so we never could forget that. But in terms of getting that, seeing how to get the opportunity and taking it, I have to say I'm integral in that. So once Jam got it, I've never had the thing with Jam like, it's me and you. And don't get me wrong, there's times I said, yo, Jam, boy, and he's gone, oh, yeah. And, you know, and we've had a little tear because I'm thinking, yo, Jam, look after the man them, or, you know. And to be honest, he's been real with me, and he's never, and I said to him, but do only play things by merit. Don't just play it because it's nuts. Don't just play it because it's your brethren. Play it because it's good enough. And then we all know what the standard is. We can't look no favour.
Yeah.
And that's what he's done. Any tune he's played of mine, he's done it by merit.
Right.
So he's always supported, he's put little work in my ways, hooked it up with a Jaguar advert when he used one of the tunes that I did, and he's in the Jaguar and he's got my tune in the background.
Wicked.
So he's always looked out for us, man. Everything he's done. Harley, Terry Walker projects, Kalashnikov stuff, helping link sponsorship with radio, One Extra and things like that. So Jam, salute.
Big up, man. That's a big story right there, because right now Mr. Jam is one of the biggest people on the radio, especially with his move to Capital. Like, he's gone. Definitely. And he's moved. Definitely. I mean, if you don't follow him across social media, you might not have known that he was into dance. You might not have known he was producer. You might not have known that side of him. It might have been a shock to see him go. And then it's like, wow, is this big dance DJ? But that's been in his heart for quite a long time now. And he has been putting in the background works.
The thing is, if it was reggae, Jam could do it. If it was Gary, because the brother, if it was indie music, he could have done it because he likes music. We used to drive up and down the country. You've been on the trips with, and Jam got every CD of every type of music in his car. Yeah. And it you know, and Jam, there was two loves back then: food and records. Trust me, you used to have a car full of vinyl and some bootleg snacks in the back of the boot, and we'd be rolling. And that brother knows his music, so he could have done it on any side, any genre.
Definitely. Like I've made some like public tweets out there about Jam, because I feel like seeing Jam as a young 13-year-old walking down Unga Hill with his record bag, like you never did see him without his record bag. And I've always known him with a record bag, whether he got into producing or not. And he's always been someone who had aspired to go further. And again, it shows how instrumental you've been in people's careers, because I'm not being disrespectful in any way, shape or form. You've just said it yourself. You gave him that, you know what I mean, that opportunity, and he's gone from strength to strength because of his own talents and his own business mind. But without that, you know what I mean, he could have just been another DJ from Nuts. Yeah,
it might have, you know, it might have been different. Do you know what I mean? Jam's always had that thing, because he was obviously with the acting and all that, so he's always had that.
Yeah.
But in terms of DJing, there was one time he was going to quit.
Right.
Something could happen. I'll go into details. Something happened where he used to work out and DJ, and he'd be upset with his record or some shit, and he was really upset. And he said, "I'm only going from back." I said, "You're mad. You cannot retire from it. You're one of the baddest." Because the way I met him, I was doing a dance and he was DJing. Yeah. He came in and begged to play. I says, "Go on, no." And he must have been like 15. He jumped on, And the way he killed us, I said, "Do you want to work here all the time?" And I gave him a gig, and that was it. From there, me and him was moving all over the place, DJing and doing stuff. But prior to us, being on the road, he was going to pack up. I said, "You must be mad. You're going to make it. You're one of the best DJs I've ever heard. Definitely going to make it big." I kept telling him, "You are going to make it big." And then when the opportunity came through us doing UK Takeover, Ray Paul, who was head of One Extra, was the head of events at that time, and Joy Davison at Radio One Extra. And they asked him to do a demo, and the rest of history. So if we didn't put those dancers on, we wouldn't have existed.
No. Look at that, man.
Yeah. And it's as simple as that.
And no one's running away from it, you know what I mean? Like, it's facts.
It's facts, yeah. And everyone, people around the city always go, "Yeah, if you want for Buddha, Jam want me." But it's not just if you want for Buddha. If you didn't have the talents, the opportunity, everyone might get the opportunity, the door open, and then you ain't got the skills, it's going to close quickly.
Definitely. 100%.
So you better be prepared. That's the main thing. No matter who opens the door, gives you that break. You better be ready.
Big up to yourself, man. It's mad respect, man, because you've dedicated your whole life, and throughout dedicating your life, it's also meant that you've had to give to others a lot, because you're a producer, you're a mentor, you know what I mean? Like, you're the business side of it, you're getting there's so much things that you've done to help people in their journeys progress. And I don't really know of many projects that you may have done where it hasn't made business sense.
Yeah.
That's always been about you. That's one thing I can say, is where some people might kind of like say, "You know what, I'm just going to go into funding, I'm going to make my bread like that. That's how I'm going to get that bread up." Nothing ain't wrong with that. But you've always had a business sense to you from I've known you till now. So big up, man.
Do you know what it is? I have to go. One with my mum, because I didn't mention her at the start, is a big inspiration, because my mum owns her own business.
All right.
She used to work from home. And she used to sew all the clothes and make all the clothes for like V-Rocket, the Reggae Man, them, all the hip hop man back in there. I think.
Is it? What kind of clothes? Describe the garments, man. What was going on?
They were making like Gabici styles. So all the Reggae Man, if you know Gabici, then Gabici styles things with little suede on it, and this would have a little tracksuit with leather.
Fat.
The Dapper Dans with the Louis Vuitton across here and the Louis Vuitton stripes on the tracksuit. He was doing the triple fat gooses with the bubble on it and the fur hoods and all that. And if you couldn't afford the leather version, we'd do a cheaper version, denim. And I'm telling you, people, you'd go to the dance, you'd pay £2 to get in, and you see 50% of the youth then in some of my mum's clothes.
Okay.
I was hustling then. I didn't even know, you know what I mean? I won't even lie. If I had a business mind of then there was certain things you would have established different, but it was just doing it because it was just part of what I did. But my mum was integral and having that business sense, and having the sense to own things. And Public Enemy, because they introduced me to Malcolm X and Farrakhan and all that stuff. So I started reading up about black culture and black consciousness differently to what we got through reggae music with the American struggle, and it was a different kind of understanding. That really progressed my mind in terms of own your own shit, forget about the crumbs off their table, and I used to just have these things, and then you think 18 and you're hearing that, punching it. I want to hear a man telling me how much drugs to sell and that, and telling me to read book and acknowledge yourself. So that helped me a lot of the way, you know what I mean? My dad passed away when I was pretty young, so my mentors were the man them from Ice and Green, which I got some bad habits from them, and then Public Enemy and that. So I was a balance of some road politics and science and some ignorant black man shit from back in the day, and the conscious black man was some progressive thinking. So it helped me. I won't lie, it helped me a lot.
Okay. Talk to me a little bit about your experiences and your influences within reggae, because you keep touching on it here and there, and I know that you've got that side of you. So talk to me a little bit about like reggae and you?
Well, to be honest, that's my first love, because
Here we
that's
go.
all of,
Here we go, people. You hear that?
it's all of, you know, and my parents were from Jamaica, so I've got
This is a big hardcore hip hop man to the bone. Yeah. Jazz, soul, those sort of, you know. He just says that reggae was his first love.
Yeah, and it has to be. My mum used to do little parties in the house. You know, if anyone watched that small Axe the other week, the Lovers Rock team, when people was cussing, everyone cussed it. But for me, it looked like the party then what we had. House parties. It wasn't a blues, this is house party. My mum used to run, cook up food and people come. So, and then she used to let me play a couple tune, and sometimes I'd be the selector in that. So it was reggae, and it was reggae. There was no funky music or that. You had the odd one. You know, it might be Dinah Ross or Commodores or one, I don't know. But it was reggae. And then I lived on Burford Road, and anyone knows Nottingham, Burford Road was the capital of reggae because it had V-Rocket on it. And V-Rocket lived 10 doors down from me and used to have a street party, put the sounds on, the speakers on the street, and, you know, Admiral Bailey might be hanging out there one day, or Lieutenant Stitchy, or, you know, Peter Metro being nuts, so they'd be on our street. So
Burford Road was instrumental, right?
Trust me.
In more than many ways, music, what you know what I mean? Like
Burford Road, and then my cousin, who had the big massive hit, who was a house hit, he lived on Burford Road as well. So we had some people on that street. So V-Rocket, myself at Ipple, my cousin in the house, Wild. Yeah. And we all come off that same street, which is crazy.
Touch on it a little bit, like I know you, because you're just flinging out artists, like people who know reggae, they'll be like, raw, because when people talk about like sound clash culture, how it was back in the day, you're saying like you lived on the street, V-Rocket was stringing up, artists then was there, DJing, Nottingham had a big strong culture, you know what I mean? Like it must have been mad crazy to be on Burford them times.
Oh yeah, between Burford Road and Ice and Green Flats and Boys Club, it was just, you know, you'd see everything. The reggae was going on, all the blues parties, because you'd think there'd be like 3 or 4 different blues parties on the flats on one night.
Have you produced any reggae projects?
Projects. I've done reggae songs. I did one of my first was with this artist called Miss Tempz, and it features Mighty Crown on there. And we forget about that one, innit?
Yeah, this is what people keep doing this to me, man. Keep flinging tunes out there, and I'm like, raw. At first I thought it was a joke, but then I thought, hold on a minute, I'm sure I remember a look or something.
Yeah, Mighty Crown and Miss Tempz. You forget about that. So that's one of my first. That's more like a old school bashment kind of.
Hold on, let's rewind and come again, because it's a big thing right now. Miss Tempz, Mighty Crown, Joe Buddha.
Klashnikov.
You got it right now. Can you draw for it?
I've got the vinyl. I got no deck here. The vinyl's downstairs. You play it on the tune. You play it on the show.
I'm gonna play it on the show, man. I'm gonna play it on the show.
Yeah, but yeah, that was a good tune. That was with Groove Attack as well, when we did the Groove Attack stuff. So that came out. With
I'm trying to think back to it. So how was it then? Like, what was it? What was the gist of the tune?
I think I had a beat, and it wasn't even from no reggae sample or nothing.
Miss Tempz, Mighty Crown, Joe Buddha, history here right now, you know, people.
It was some German weird music, and it's like jazz, some German jazz thing, and it had this little section, and then I put the drum beat on, and I said, yo, this sounds like bashment. And then Mighty Crown came round and heard the beat. I was doing some dub plates with Valerie.
Oh, this is history.
And they said, yo, this beat's wicked. And that's when they did the little intro. I said, yo, do me an intro on it. And they did the intro. And then you came and laid down the tune. And then Clash laid a piece. And then we got KD Infinity singing the hook in it.
Raw.
You know, it's KD on the hook.
This is getting modern right now.
Yeah.
This is turned crazy, people. KD's on the hook. Singing, yeah, man, because KD's a singer, but we don't know that KD likes to sing.
Yeah, he smashes it, to be honest. He smashes it. Got some play. I think Jam played it a few times on the air.
Re-release, bruv.
Yeah, got some play. I was looking for the digital, but like I said, I've got it online. I haven't digitized it yet, so I need to.
So a piece of history there, right there, people. I'm inquiring into Joe Buddha's first experience of production into reggae, and he just laid it down. It was actually Miss Tempz, Mighty Crown, KD, produced by Joe Buddha. It's a history moment, people. You get me? And you're gonna get to hear the track as well on the show. So listen in for it.
Yeah, wicked. And then after that, I think Arlie Blue. Funny story about that, and a tune I never released with her. It's called Change.
Okay.
We were supposed to sign. He made a deal offer for us to sign a deal with him, which was Shy FX, drum and bass producer, big time Shy FX. So I sent him this tune, which was this reggae track that we didn't use in the end with Arlie Blue. And then recently I had his new album with Chronics. I said, yo, Reggie. And I feel maybe to Muse. So we've gone through all the rigmarole, but because it was a sample, my man's, he's claimed that he didn't take the idea, but even the record label contacted the publishers, everyone, he just, nah. But he took the idea, man, because it's exactly the same. He might all took it off my beat because there's no instrumental piece for him to chop it up on me, mate. And I'm sorry, Side Effects, if you think I'm talking shit, but no. There's no way a man sending you a tune and 5 years later you make a tune that sounds exactly the same and you say, I don't know what you're talking about. And you wanted to sign the man. And you played it in your studio. Come on, man.
That's bad, man.
It's terrible.
Let's touch on it. Let's touch on how terrible it is, because we was having a conversation the other day, like how kind of terrible things are when people kind of tag you in stuff that you're a part of that you might not be aware of. So, for example, like we was both tagged in a tune that was, you haven't got it, I haven't got it.
Yeah, and the man had a vinyl. Lasses, I ain't got a vinyl of this.
I'm listening and I'm thinking, I'm looking. In fact, I looked on the label. I screenshotted it, looked on the label, see my name, and I was like, eh? Didn't hear my vocal come in, but it's clearly on that vinyl.
That's a test press. So that then it probably made 20 of them, because that Heathman's is a mastering test press. So I even got one, and that's your voice and my beat, and I have none. But I mean, for that, at least it won't release, and someone claims it. Yeah. They took your idea and they just made it their own.
What, like they just did to you, yeah?
Yeah.
5 years later.
I've had another one like that, a brother from Birmingham, a rapper. And that tune ended up on a Westwood compilation.
So it's ended up on the Westwood compilation. What, you've just gone and brought the Westwood compilation and just heard your beat on there?
Yeah, basically.
People got no manners and respect, you know. What, did they think you was just not, what? I know.
Well, I contacted him and they weren't happy. I mean, I wasn't happy. That's what I say, I wasn't happy. I said, at the end of the day, just talk to me. You know what I mean? Just talk to me. I'm not going to go daft if you want to use it.
If it's business, it's business. If there's no P, there's no P. At least you know the situation with what's happening with your beat, right?
Exactly. That's basically it. Just a little bit of money. There's no money, there's no money, there's money, there's money. Just let people know what you're doing.
Exactly. Did they credit you?
I think they did, and my name was spelled wrong. Insult to injury.
Deliberate thing. No PRS. Avoiding you all angles, bruv.
Yeah, they spelled it wrong.
Wicked. Well, we're definitely going to have to do part 2 because there's still so much to discuss. But I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to come on Industry Insider and share some of your journey as Joe Buddha, a mogul coming out of Nottingham.
Michael.
Salute, bruv. Crazy respect.
Thank you, sister. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me and letting me tell part of my journey, and I can't wait to come back and tell you some more about what we're doing and what we're going on with, and fill in some of the spaces.
Big up.
Story. Yeah. Thank you.
Big respect.
You are now locked into DJ Tempz. You are now in with DJ Miss Tempz, Miss Tempz.
DJ Miss Tempz, DJ Miss Tempz. Play it loud, let them know what's poppin'. The God Rock Kim in your area.
Yo,
One.
you can just feel this one.